Welcome back. Just before we get into looking at the economy or Nigeria out of recession, we have this mail that's coming, had to do with what we talked about, the scammers. So see the picture here. His name is, I won't read the surname, Ibukun. He sent this in from Abuja. He says he called, needed to send a package from Abuja to Lagos, so he went on Google Maps and searched for a courier company in Abuja, found a couple of locations and rang one of the locations, the phone number there. And when he rang, they said, okay, they will come and pick up the package, that he should pay 5,000 naira first for them to handle processing and all of that, sent account details, pay the 5,000 naira. Brilliant idea, as in the courier company doing this, so they just pay your money, then they come and pick up the package. He did that, sent the money, and then he rang them back. Why haven't you come to pick up the package? And guess what they said? So I'll read that bit. Only then did they tell me that they were a scam, citing youth unemployment as the reason for doing it. I immediately rang my bank. We both used Diamond Bank. Okay, sorry, I read out the name there. Reporting this issue, but the bank asked me to get an order from court before they can do anything about it. At this point, I gave up, but I think it's good to let people know that these scammers come in different shapes and sizes, so they need to be very wary and careful. And he says, I hope you share this with the public. The other message from Festus. Festus says, do not respond to emails or tweets or messages that are unsolicited, requesting for any of your personal details.
And then, in connection with our last discussion, Ikwanwasa says, individuals with wealth that cannot be traced to a productive source should not be given any honors. Here, Ikwanwasa.
Khalil says, Nigerians don't want to blow the whistle, probably because they feel security is a concern or no steps would be taken. Okay. Well, let's move on now and look at something else. Nigeria out of recession, a London-based organization called World Economics on Tuesday, April 18, announced that Nigeria is out of recession and well on its way to recovery. The International Monetary Fund continues, however, to cast a subdued outlook on the Nigerian economy in 2017. April Sales Managers Index data suggests that the Nigerian economy is continuing to grow out of recession, which saw 10 months of consecutive contraction in 2016. Okay, so all of that is economic jargon. So let's get some people to help us break it down so that everyone would understand. Two gentlemen we have here, one in Lagos and one in Abuja. Johnson Chukwu's the MD of Cowrie Assets. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
And a development economist joins us from our Abuja studios, Odilim Enwegbara. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Okay, I'll start with you, Odilim. World Economics and their statement that Nigeria is out of recession and on the way to recovery. What's your take?
Anyway, if I say this, Nigerians are always against me, especially the elite class. When you say an economy is out of recession, what has grown the economy to the extent of coming out of recession? These are the questions one has to ask. Because if somebody somewhere in London sits in his office, maybe somebody has paid him or somebody is consulting for somebody, and from that he says the Nigerian economy has come out of recession. He has to come out with the facts and figures and tell us why. What have been the actions taken by government in order to bring the economy out of recession? So that is my concern, because what is happening in this country is that for me, recession is not an accident that just happened one day and maybe we are going to the emergency ward and maybe the doctors have treated you know. So there are some fundamental structural problems in our economy. Unless we address these structural fundamental problems, we cannot say that we're out of recession, because is the economy growing? If it is growing, what is growing the economy? How is it growing the economy? These are the facts you have to actually analyze and be certain that the economy is really growing. The infrastructure investment is what it used to be as at when Jonathan left office. So there has never been any increment in the power sector. Road network has not been improved. Our ability to feed ourselves has not actually improved. So I don't know. I don't know. When you invited me yesterday, I have done a lot of research, and I couldn't find those convincing evidences to assure you that the economy is out of recession.
Not even the fact that
they say it is out of recession, so be it.
The same way, if I may come in, not even the fact that the Bureau of Statistics said the inflation rate has dropped by 0.52%. Isn't that something to point to the fact that things are changing somewhat?
You see, when I say these people are against me, I've written, when I say these people are against me, because Bureau of Statistics is a government agency. And for it to say that the inflation has dropped, what are the causes of inflation drop? I know that the dollar value has been propped up because we have earned some more dollars as a result of increase in the price of petroleum products, blah, blah, blah. But what is actually driving it? Is he saying that if you go to the market, you and I go to the market, the prices are dropping? If you go to the hotel to book a hotel, the prices are dropping? Is he telling us that as a result of reduction in the cost of doing business, maybe the power sector is improving so that the cost of doing business is dropping, so that the cost of goods and services are dropping? So I don't know. You know, when people sit in the offices and cook up all these things, and you know, let me tell you this. You see, because we are pressing us, we want to be politically correct, because we want those in government to see us as friends, not as enemies. And that's the problem of a black man. A black man doesn't want to face reality because he wants always push realities aside. So the next person will inherit realities. We have to tell ourselves the realities. And I will tell you this. Very soon now, the pages of newspapers will be filled with congratulatory messages to Mr. President. Oh, thank God we have brought this country, this economy out of recession. For how long do we joke? For how long do we lie to ourselves? I don't know. It hurts my heart because there's no structural readjustments that has taken place in order to bring this economy out of recession. And not just bring it out of recession, to ensure that this economy grows. By growing, you mean you have horizontal economic growth. It's not vertical economic growth. Where some few exports, oil and the few those things, we actually grow the economy without trickling down. We have to grow the economy by including small businesses, by improving small business, by making most of the things we import, by making most of the things we consume. If we do not do that, we can continue lying to ourselves, you know, and do it because politically correct, and because if you say the contrary, people will go after you. That is my concern.
Okay. Now let us come to Lagos. Mr. Chukwu, do you agree with Odilim that we are not on our way out of recession?
Absolutely no. Absolutely no. You see, when we talk of recession, an economy goes into recession when there's 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth or contraction. And an economy comes out of recession once there is a single quarter of positive economic growth. And today, we are seeing the green shoots. What the world economics, as they call themselves, basically did was to preempt what is getting very obvious. And why do I say we are seeing the green shoots? In the first place, some of the factors that threw the economy into recession was scarcity of FX, foreign exchange. And principally because foreign exchange has a pervasive impact on the economy. It affects the manufacturing sector, it affects the trade sector, it affects virtually all the sectors. So when there was severe scarcity of FX, what happened was the manufacturers could not access forex to import their raw materials, import their equipment. So the manufacturing sector went into contraction, into negative growth. Then the trade sector had a marginal positive growth. And then you found out that virtually several other sectors that are directly or indirectly linked to availability of FX began to contract. But today, we've seen improvement in FX supply because we've seen improvement in production of crude. So 2 factors have aided the availability of FX. 1, improvement in volume of crude production, and 2, improvement in price of crude. Those 2 factors have led to an improvement in availability of FX in the market. And if you look at the contraction that we suffered, the severest contraction we had was in the 3rd quarter of last year, where the economy contracted by 2.44%. That quarter, oil and gas sector contracted by 22%. the effect of a contraction of a sector that accounts for about 10% of the economy by 22% was very massive. So we saw that the only growth areas we had were in the areas like agriculture that grew by about 4.53%. But today, we are likely going to see a reversal of the contraction in the oil and gas sector, because production is improving. The spate of attacks on pipelines have reduced. So if we produce about 2 million barrels a day, and we are fortunate the oil price remains above $50, we will just be fine. We'll just earn enough, we'll earn enough effects to sustain the level of economic activity in the country.